You've felt it, the dark whisper inside you no one else hears. Here, we face it together. Subscribe and don't look away. Your secrets depend on it. The Fisherman's Secret. What ancient covenant, sealed in blood and salt, truly governs the fate of Louis? And is the darkness beneath the waves coming to claim us all? I am Louis, 78 years of age, and most of that life has been spent as a pêcheur, a fisherman, bound to the restless, breathing body of the sea. They say water symbolizes life and purification, but the truth is it's a terrifying, chaotic void. Even the Bible speaks of this duality. Genesis 1:2, where the Spirit of God hovers over the primeval, dark waters, the same deep that later drowned the world in Noah's flood and swallowed the Pharaoh's army. The sea is judgment, chaos, and the prison of the old gods. What I am about to share is the unvarnished truth of my lineage, a secret I guarded until the sheer weight of it demanded release. My family claimed we belonged to a 1,000-year-old clan, a lineage that lived among men yet was fundamentally distinct. They called us the God's Clan, born with a difference, our blood carrying an ancient, forbidden inheritance. I'd heard the term Nephilim, the hybrid beings born of fallen angels and humans whose disembodied spirits, according to lore, became the very marine spirits that dwell in the deep, entities linked to principalities like Leviathan and Dagon. My father was lost to the sea long ago. It was my mother who became the guardian of the clan's dark inheritance. I was a man of logic and tide charts, and for years I dismissed her feverish devotion to strange, nocturnal ceremonies. I suspected schizophrenia, a lonely mind grasping at myths, but her rituals were too precise, too consistent, always performed when the crescent moon was swallowed by the dark. She had her suppliers, her dealers, who trafficked in the unsavory ingredients, a gaunt man who supplied her without charge, a fact that now fills me with cold dread. One night, the air itself became heavy, pregnant with a cold, insistent wind. My mother was preparing for the final rite. I watched, drawn by a terror I couldn't ignore. She fed gnarled roots to a snapping fire and set a small, black clay pitcher, a vessel that felt impossibly old, over the sticks. The ingredients she added were not of this world. I watched her drop fish scales shimmering like dark jewels, a piece of dried sea turtle hide, and a measure of cold seawater. Then came the sacrifice. She took a rough, sharp shell and made a deliberate, clean slice across her forearm, letting drops of her own life's blood, the blood of the Nephilim, fall into the heating, viscous black goo. She recited the names as she whisked, ensuring I knew the poison she was brewing: dried seaweed, the crushed wing of a butterfly, powdered shell of a sea crab, and water gathered during the new moon. Then the truly forbidden, the elements of the deep covenant: milk from a seal, strands of her own black hair, and the esoteric damning ingredients: orichalcum, the rare herb rusticum barbantian, and the terrifyingly visceral kellepine heart. When the mixture became a thick black tar, she turned to me. Her eyes held the cold, deep luminescence of the abyssal dark. She commanded me to undress, and then she too shed her clothes, standing naked in the frigid night air. Despite my terror, the need to know, to grasp the truth of my cursed bloodline, overrode my fear. I stripped. She smeared the hot, viscous goo all over her body. "Do the same, Lewis," she commanded. I obeyed, the heat of the paste contrasting sickeningly with the icy wind. As I began to repeat the ritualistic words she uttered, the world fractured. The sound of the waves dissolved, replaced by a strange, echoing chorus. Mystical, dreamy voices, 1,000 throats singing in unison, came from nowhere and everywhere. I sensed an immense, invisible circle of entities surrounding us, a silent, spiritual gravity pulling me toward the deep. I saw them then, heads rising from the sea itself, slick, pale, sightless things that bobbed in the swell, and figures, too tall, too fluid, utterly indistinct, stood silhouetted where the sea met the shore, the witnessing court of the Nephilim spirits. Then came the unbearable crescendo. Under the weak, watchful eye of the moon, the black goo began to consume my mother. Her skin glowed with a phosphorescence that was not light, but a cold, deep luminescence. Scales erupted and spread, hard black plates that caught the moonlight, glistening like shattered onyx. Her face became porcelain pale, smooth and alien. She opened her eyes and they were a pitch-black abyss, a vacuum of light that seemed to hold the silent, sightless dark of 1,000 years. Terror spiked. I looked down. The black tar was fusing to my own skin. Where my hands, the hands of a fisherman, should have been, I saw fleshy, webbed flippers, the skin pale and stretched, a hideous mockery of human form. An agonizing, tearing pain gripped my lower body, a structural upheaval. My legs, too, were becoming smooth and impossibly luminous, fusing, beginning their metamorphosis. The blackest horror was the reflection. In the mirror-like sheen of the goo coating my skin, I saw too many eyes. Not two, but dozens of glittering, fish-like ancient eyes that blinked slowly in unison with the crashing of the tide. The demonic power of the marine spirits was not just around us, it was in us. The world dissolved into a deafening roar. I collapsed, the ultimate panic extinguishing my consciousness. I woke to the sterile smell of antiseptic. I was in a hospital bed, surrounded by the frightened, confused faces of my neighbors. They had found me, barely alive, on the shore. My first frantic question was for my mother. They had no idea. She had vanished into the humid coastal night. The car was found abandoned. She was simply gone. I recovered physically, but I was ruined. My neighbors pressed, but how could I tell them the truth? That the marine spirits, entities mentioned in Christian spiritual warfare as principalities of the deep, had claimed my only parent. I could not. I lost my mother, but in that moment I lost my humanity. The ceremony was successful. My body was now a vessel. The pain and the transformation were devastatingly real. The horrifying, short-lived attempt of my human form to shift into the Nephilim hybrid. I grew old, taking different jobs, running from the sea. But the silence is a lie. She returns every night in the suffocating darkness of my dreams. I see her, perfectly scaled, her black eyes glistening in the lightless deep. She whispers, and the sound is the rush of 1,000 tides, the grinding of tectonic plates. Come home, son. Come to the sea. It is your home. The spiritual covenant is sealed. Lewis did not escape. His mother is not dead. She is a high priestess in the court of Dagon/Leviathan, the dark lord of the seas. Lewis is a host, the current vessel of the ancient Nephilim curse. The dream is not a memory. It is a summoning. The dark whisper inside him is the spirit of the deep, a chaotic, judging entity waiting for the final, terrible moment when his will breaks and the sea comes to claim its own, transforming him fully and eternally into a monster of the deep. He is still a fisherman, yes, but now he is bait. The glitch is permanent. He is already beneath the surface.